Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Empowered You, the podcast where we talk all things healing, growth, and turning pain into power. I'm your host, Jill Ripley, and it's my intention to use my own personal experience to help you or someone you love open to the idea of letting go of past pain and using it as a springboard for personal growth. Much of what I share here is inspired by my book, Empowered by the Storm, Releasing the Past and Embracing the Light. If anything I say resonates today, you can dive deeper with me at empoweredbythestorm.com or grab a copy of the book on Amazon. In previous episodes, we've talked a lot about self-love, healing, and honoring your needs. Today, I want to share with you one practice that has helped me deeply in all of these areas, and that is meditation. Let me start by asking you a question. When was the last time you sat in silence with yourself and just breathed? Not scrolling, not planning dinner, not rehashing yesterday or bracing for tomorrow. Just sat down and allowed yourself to just be. That's what we're exploring today. Not as some lofty spiritual practice or wellness trend, but as a powerful way to reconnect to your core, your peace, your presence, your true self. Who and what you were before the circumstances of your life had their impact on you. Because here's the truth. In a noisy world full of endless input, meditation becomes a radical act of self-love. It's a way of saying, my mind doesn't run me. My thoughts can't define me. I can choose peace right here and right now. And man, is that powerful. And just to clear something up, meditation isn't about emptying your mind or levitating in a candlelit cave. It's about awareness, presence, creating space between your thoughts and your identity. As Dr. Joe Dispenza puts it, the moment you become aware that you're not your thoughts, that's when real change begins. There's plenty of science to back it up. Studies from Harvard Medical School have shown that regular meditation can actually restructure your brain, shrinking the amygdala, your fear center, and strengthening the prefrontal cortex, which governs focus, compassion, and decision-making. Translation: meditation literally helps you rewire your brain to respond instead of react, to feel instead of fight or flee, and to choose your response instead of reacting to circumstances and spiraling. So, what does this mean for your actual life? It means when you get cut off in traffic or someone says something hurtful, your nervous system isn't immediately hijacked. You have more space, more calm. You can pause and breathe and choose a loving, or at least a more metered response. Not just a reactive one. That's the power of a practiced mind. If you've been through trauma, you know how easy it is to live in a constant state of fight or flight. Your nervous system is always active, scanning for danger, even when none is present. Meditation helps shift you into the parasympathetic state, and that's the rest, restore, and recover state. This is where healing happens. Think of it like this. Trauma disconnects us from the present. It yanks us into the past, or it projects us into a fear-based future. But meditation, it anchors us in the here and now, where safety, breath, and clarity live. I'll be honest, I didn't always love meditation. I used to be like so many people who would say, I just can't meditate. I would like to meditate, but I just can't. I would try to sit in silence and the myriad of thoughts would just flood in. I would get so frustrated because I couldn't stop them. What I didn't realize at the time was I wasn't supposed to try to stop them. What a relief this was when I finally caught on to this. Instead of trying to dispel the thoughts, I learned that focusing on the breath or a mantra would automatically reduce my focus on the thoughts. You literally can't think of two things at the same time. So if you're thinking about your breath or a mantra, you can't be thinking of thoughts. I learned this back in 2012 when I was going to Quincy College for exercise science. One of my professors had a Pilates studio, and she invited me to an event that she was having with a meditation teacher named Andy Kelly. They called him the Boston Buddha. If you have a chance, you can look him up at thebostonbuddha.com. He was great. Needless to say, I was intrigued, so I went. This decision turned out to be life-changing for me. For the first time ever, I was actually able to feel as though I was meditating. One of the things Andy had us do was to focus on our breathing, and then he introduced the mantra, so hum. Breathing in, we would think so, and breathing out, hum. It was so simple, but so effective. So hum. So hum. I left the meeting that night and I was hooked. I've been practicing ever since. Not that I was perfect after this, but from this session, I took away the idea that you don't have to control your thoughts. You just need to notice when you're having them and release them, and then they no longer control you. Now, the thing is that your mind is so used to thinking thoughts that it will only allow you to focus on the breath or mantra for a short time in the beginning. But with practice, the time and the space between thoughts becomes greater. So the key here is just to notice when you have let the focus on the breath or mantra go, realizing you're in active thought process and let go of the thought by refocusing on your breath or mantra. No judgment, just re-engage with the breath. When you realize that the thoughts are creeping back in, it's totally normal. You can be totally okay with it. The more you stick with it, the more you will start to feel your own true self. Beneath the noise, beneath the guilt, beneath the shame, there's stillness, peace, and eventually power. There was a time in my healing journey when everything felt loud. My grief, my regrets, the should-haves, what-ifs. Meditation helped me to start to witness those thoughts instead of becoming them. I didn't have to believe everything my mind said. That's liberation. If you've ever said, I can't meditate, my mind won't shut up, trust me, that means you're doing it right. Meditation isn't about stopping thoughts. It's about observing them. Some people also say, I just don't have time. I get it. Life is busy. But here's the truth. If you have time to scroll on social media, you have time to meditate. Even if it's just 2 minutes of stillness, it's better than none. It's not about quantity, it's about consistency. Think of your mind like a snow globe. When it's shaken, everything feels cloudy and you can't see. But when you sit still, even for a few breaths, the snow begins to settle. And that clarity, that's where your intuition lives. Your mind's like a puppy. It wanders. Your job is to gently lead it back with kindness, not punishment. You don't need incense, mantras, or 45 minutes of silence, unless you want these things. Meditation can be 3 minutes of focused breathing, just sitting in the car. A walk in nature where you listen instead of scrolling on your phone. Repeating a simple phrase like, I am safe, or I am here as you breathe. Here's a practice I often recommend to people new to meditation. First thing you need to do is just sit or lie down in a comfortable space. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to your breath. Inhale for a count of 4. Hold for 4. And exhale for 6. and just rinse and repeat. As thoughts come in, label them, thinking, and then return to your breath. Do this for 3 to 5 minutes. That's it. The magic isn't in doing it perfectly. The magic is in showing up. Meditation isn't about escaping life. It's about fully arriving in it. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you are already beneath the pain, the programming, and the noise. And here's what I want to leave you with. You are not your past. You are not your thoughts. You are not broken. You are a powerful, loving, conscious being. And meditation is one way to come home to that truth again and again. If this episode stirred something in you, I'd love to hear about it. You can message me at empoweredbythestorm.com or find me on Instagram at empoweredbythestorm. And hey, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. We're just getting started. Until next time, stay grounded, stay open, stay loving, and stay empowered.